What's up, everybody? Time for another game theory, game discussion, video game thingy-jiggy. Remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comments, share, support the channel if you want. Appreciate it. Thanks. Today, I want to talk about and give another example of why having very powerful options, when there are very powerful options, nature will find a way, just like Jurassic Park. Balance in the chaos, right? And specifically, we're going to talk about why having one button throws and no whiff throw animation is better for games, right? And we'll show some examples. Now, let me just preface this, though, by that. That is not to say, actually, though, that I don't think that, in some of these games, even Street Fighter 4 or whatever the fuck it might be, you have these sort of like option selects where you can press jab and short at the same time to do a duck little kick, and you will also break the tech throw. I actually do think, and this is a little bit, let's say, subjective. I do think it is fun breaking throws with jab and short at the same time when you're doing a duck low kick. I do think that is a little fun. I do sort of appreciate that. But generally speaking, again, I'm going to say that one button throws, no whiff animation is better for video games. And we're going to use an example here with Street Fighter Alpha. And I'll show Super Turbo as well, but let's take a move like Guy's Hurricane Kick, right? At a lower level, Guy's Hurricane Kick seems very busted, right? And it's still a good move even at a higher level, but at a lower level, it seems busted. But as I've showed before, the move is actually not like super invincible. It has, places on his body where you can hit him, correct? So if we're to do something like that right there, we can see that beats his Hurricane Kick, right? But specifically what we're going to get into in this video, you got to remember as well, see how he went for the Hurricane Kick right there? It's throwable. And what I want you to appreciate here is that we are throwing the move, right, with a move that has no whiff animation, and a move that, even if the move was not throw invincible at that range, whatever it might be, or just not throw invincible, period, we are doing such a high priority attack that it would still beat it anyway, right? And I want to show some more examples. So again, we'll see here. This can throw Guy's Hurricane Kick, right? So let's look at this situation where we might do a hop kick against Guy, right? Well, guess what? If we try to throw with the stand medium kick and Guy tries to Hurricane Kick, guess what? It beats his Hurricane Kick. We do the little kick one, right? What if we do one that's actually more invincible, right? Well, the more invincible ones aren't actually, so to speak, throw invincible. So guess what? Oh, we just grabbed the Hurricane Kick, right? So hopefully you can see what I'm going to be getting at in this video. Hopefully you can already appreciate, although Guy's Hurricane Kick seems busted at certain levels, when you actually play a lot of these older games, you can see the balance in the chaos, right? Because of having these distinctively powerful things, right? So even if we're to do something like, say, guess what? In a game like Alpha 1, you don't have as much throw invincibility when you're standing up. So let's say we knocked the guy down and we jiggied a little bit, stuttered a little bit. And Guy, right when he stands up, he goes for a duck little kick. Whoa, well, wait a second. We can throw it, but guess what? Remember what we did. We threw with the stand medium kick, which is very powerful. So guess what? We do the same situation here. All right, you saw I threw when Guy did duck short there, right? Guy tries the reversal with Hurricane Kick. Whoa, wait a second. Oh, Guy tried to do, nope, still hit him. A little bit out of range there. Guess what? We'll show other ranges where I just throw him. Oh, I just grabbed it. Do you see what I'm getting at here already? Where something can seem so powerful on one side of the spectrum, but because there are so many powerful things in these old school games, you can find obscure counters, which you might not think, right? Now, a game like Alpha 1, of course, although I showed these examples, again, Alpha 1 and Alpha 2, you got these bullshit rolling things. It's even worse in Alpha 2, but at least Alpha 1, you got to commit to something, so it's like a guessing game. But, one of the weaknesses of Guy's Hurricane Kick as well is that the move is very slow to start up. So you can safe jump it, right? But because you don't actually have to hold everything in Alpha 1, and it's kind of just like, am I guessing if I'm going to roll or not? You can't always exploit these weaknesses of a move like Guy's Hurricane Kick, but that is more of a system problem. That is not really a problem with the move per se, because you can see when you have so many powerful moves, at one time, you're going to find different ways to counter things, right? Now, also, and I show this in Super Turbo because old school Street Fighter 2, it's so drastic, right? Alpha 1, it's not as drastic, but of course, characters have different throw range, right? So if we were to even look at something like here, right? Let's say we got Dawson right here. Dawson can throw from that range, right? Thing we show here, Ryu tries to throw, Ryu won't get a throw. So we have these situations where I can't actually throw Dawson from there. I can only tech the throw. Dawson is always in the advantage because of these extreme differences, right? Another example of, people talk about, oh, there's Kara throws and all this kind of stuff. I'm not necessarily against Kara throws, you know what I mean? With, whatever it might be. Example of, I think he did like in Street Fighter 4, it was like Ken step kick, Ken forward medium kick, jab and short, Kara throw. Even though these things are fun, there's just the drastically different throw ranges in old school Street Fighter 2. I still think I appreciate more, right? Excuse me. And another example of why having one button throws and no throw animations potentially make video games more complicated back in the day. So Sagat did a duck short there, right? Let's say he throws the guy once right here, boom, 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 right? Next time, guess what? He does this, and let's say the guy, I don't know. I guess Ken could dragon punch. Of course he could. He could hurricane kick, whatever. But let's say the guy jumps. Well, guess what? Now I canceled into a move because my throw button that I'm using here specifically for this, I can actually juggle after it with the DP. Does this add not another layer to these old school games that you just don't have in new school games? It's a danger of progression, right? And I show an example with a character like Guy again, right? So Guy, boom, boom, boom. He has kick throw. Kick throw does more damage. I didn't mash it, but it does more damage. And technically you can hurricane kick after it or super. But let's say, what if I was afraid that the guy might tech it? What if I'm afraid that the guy might tech it? And I'm like, oh, geez, I don't know. Or maybe I'm thinking about he could jump. Well, guess what? Now, if I were to do hard kick with that, I could still probably hit Ken, right? But let's say this situation, I'm going to go tick throw, kick, while he starts to jump. I do my hard punch. There's no throw animation. And I input while doing this a hurricane kick in case he tried to jump out of it. Now I got more damage than I would have got the other thing, right? So hopefully you can get what I'm getting at there. Although some of these old games are archaic, and of course all video games have to progress, hopefully you can see there is a mind game that exists on certain levels in old school games that is possible, that is not possible in new school games. And like I said, I can appreciate Kara throws. They're kind of fun, right? I can appreciate it's kind of fun when you tech a throw in some of these games with the jab and short while you're doing duck low kick. It's kind of fun. It's a little bit fun. But guess what? I don't think it's as deep as these old school games. You don't have these potential mind games, right? And when you have such these powerful options as well, you can see there's more balance in the chaos, which is always what I'm talking about. These old school games, you have so many moves that you might think is broken. And guess what? Once you actually start to play it, you're like, whoa, I know I can find these obscure counters to this. Guy's hurricane kick looks absolutely broken. Very hard to punish for a lot of characters from certain ranges. But guess what? The move actually isn't totally invincible, his whole body. So he has these different weaknesses to it, dude, right? It's not even throw invincible. So now we can combine these very big hitbox moves, right? That can also throw the guy to get weird situations like this, right? And you're like, whoa, this move that seemed broken as fuck at first, you're like, wow, there's actually a lot of kind of obscure counters. And that's what I'm talking about. When I talk about this GED zone, right, that is different in old school games so often, is again, newer school games. Yes, the GED level to get competent, so to speak, generally takes longer than old school games, right? But the old school games, there's just so much more depth to them than than most people will probably tell you nowadays. They'll try to tell, oh, Street Fighter is so much better now. It's so much more deep. No, it's not. Look at these old school games, dude. There's layers of complexity that isn't even possible in new school games because of this danger of progression. Games have to progress, but some of these progressive ideas, they're capped. The progression is capped, right? So to speak, right? These old school games, when you let games marinate, so many different powerful things being thrown into a clusterfuck of whatever, a stir pot of whatever, dude. You find these weird counters, dude. And it's sad that you don't get this stuff in new games. Anyway, if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel if you want. Appreciate it. Thanks. The end.